Hello, in this video, I'm asking, are you doing your very best? Whatever you're doing, are you doing your very best? That's my video today. Join me. Hello, welcome to Take a Step to a Better You. This is the channel where I share what I know and continue to learn in the areas of business, affiliate marketing, earning money online, and also motivational messages like today. If you are new, welcome. My name is Sherifa Nakalema. I'm a business owner in Virginia, USA. And please, if you care about having a better life, taking those steps we need to make our life better, consider subscribing. And if you've seen me before, appreciate you very much. Thank you for spending your time here with me in my home. I call it my home. So appreciate that. And thank you for sharing and liking and leaving comments, especially the comments. That's how I know that you are here. And that's how I'm going to come back and do the same. And please, when you subscribe, click on the bell. And when you bring the selection, select all so that you get all. Whenever I publish a video, you get to be notified. I'm doing it. I'm trying consistently Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. It may come a little bit later, especially because of the time difference. I could say Wednesday and you see it in Thursday, but that means I published Wednesday. But if you are living in another country, you're maybe seeing it on Thursday. But I'm doing Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And in the week, I tend to be motivational. And on a Sunday, that's when I tend to be on the business side. Okay, please share them, like them, do what you have to do to support this message, because I think it's a good message. Today, I'm asking you actually, are you doing your very best? And the assumption is that you want to do great, you want to do good things, you want to be successful, but are we doing our very best? Take a moment. Are you doing your very best? And not just one area, all areas of life. Everywhere you want to be successful, are you giving it your all? Or you are just doing the average? The average will not do. So I'll give an example. Have a short story at the end of this video. If you stick around, it's not going to be a long video. You know, I used to think that you had to be like a certain way, like to be successful. I'll give an example. And you don't have a tendency to just give up because we think maybe we are not good enough. And have you, for example, thought like this? Like me, I used to think that maybe you had to be born with like a great voice to be a great singer. Do you know anyone who's singing really well, like they worked on it and made it better and they're successful? They were not born with it really, really good. I used to think that you had to be born like really smart to be great in school, or that you have to be born in a family that's successful. They have some money to be able to create like something like a business. Because I used to think a lot that you had to have capital to have your own business. So I would think, if you have nothing, then how do you do it? I also used to think this one, that you had to be like very beautiful or perfect to look great or to look attractive. But we all know that, by the way, where do you fall on these? That could be true or maybe not. But because we know people, for example, on this last one, we know people who are not really born. Because before, like I remember when I used to be young, I would look at some people and say, that person is really beautiful. Like everything, like perfect. But these days, people who have been considered ugly can go to the gym and work out and they look great and attractive, better than the other one. Because you could have the beauty, but if you didn't take care of yourself, it's still, you don't be like attractive. My point is, if you work on something, you can change it from average to better to best, whatever the highest is. Let's do our very best. That's my message in this video. And for example, maybe you are not born very smart. Okay, genetically not very smart, but you worked hard. Maybe you had to review it a few times. You know, some smart people, They just go to class and they just listen. And you ask them a few weeks later, they still remember what the teacher said. They didn't even take any notes. Those kinds of people. But then there are those who need to study and review, and you end up actually doing very best. Sometimes you could do better than those other people. I'm not talking about those very smart ones who don't forget anything, but there are those who are really great, but because they are not like putting in enough effort, they're smart, but they fail. And the one who was average, but they keep at it, Remember my channel, take a step, you keep taking that step, you review, the teacher teaches, whatever you didn't understand, you go ask, you end up doing better. I already gave that example of the person who wasn't so like looking good, like maybe when they're young, they look at their photos, they say, wow. But now, wow, they corrected that already because they worked at it. This message is, please, if you want to be great, let's do our very best. And just because you didn't have the money, you were not born beautiful or you're not born smart, that shouldn't stop you. Okay? Just give it your all. And just focus, because these days focusing is really hard for people, for many people. They like to be scattered on this, on that, especially because of social media. But if you really focus on something and set those goals, you can turn a situation around. Now, if you choose not to do your very best, it may not even be like you sat down and said, I will not do my very best. It just happens that you are not focused, you're not setting goals. Even those things that will have been positives, they could become negatives. For example, I'll give you something like, if you had the capability, the capacity to be a great employee, like you're a good employee, but if your employer is looking at you and they see that you're not really doing your very best, you're not focused on whatever the mission is, they may skip you on a promotion. They may not give it to you because they feel like you are not giving your very best. There are examples in relationships. If you could be married to your very sweetheart, but if you don't give it your very best, you could lose them. This love is not enough. If someone may love you very much, but if you are not keeping up with the expectations of the relationship and the marriage, and or for example, you have children, someone may love you very much, but the things that go into the relationship, like you are a wife, you're not taking care of the home, or the husband, whatever you are supposed to do, you're not like a good partner, and especially with the parenting. That's why some people look deep. They look deep to look at your history. Can you be a good parent? Okay, I love you, I like you, but what about the next step? Are you really capable of going all the way? But then you can learn. That's the message of this video. You can make it better. Something you didn't know. Your parents were not good parents, but you can learn and make it better. That's my message. But I wanted to give you a short story of someone who had it all, who was smart, was born smart. I'm not like going to brag here or something, but I'm saying when I did my first degree, I did my career university, for those of you who are in Uganda. And at that time, it was the only university. And getting that university, they were paying for us. I told this story in other videos. They were paying for our education. But qualifying to get in that university was really, really hard. I told the wrong story. I'm not telling that story. The story I'm telling is a little bit different. To get there, you had to do great. And we had this case that I'm going to tell you about. We had someone, I didn't know them before. I got to know them when we were in the university. In fact, my roommate, that was her friend, they came from the same school. One of the best schools in Uganda. You know, this is Uganda I'm talking about. And we went to school first year, second year. At that time, my degree was actually, I was doing, if you are curious, I was doing economics and agriculture economics. I did economics on both sides. And I loved it at that time, but later I switched. When I'm here now, I do accounting. I switched. I'm not an economist anymore. So that other friend that I'm talking about, by the way, this is not like private. Anyone who could go to that year would know this story that I'm telling. It was in the news. It's 3 years. We needed to be for that college. 3 years. She was doing a different major. It was in sciences. Remember, I was doing economics. I was doing like I think physics, those sciences. We go first year, we do well. Second year, third year, that's supposed to be the final year. So we did our second year. When we were in our second year, we're all thinking, oh, we have only 1 year left. Like you're thinking what you're going to do after. All great. Now, before we get to that third year, the story I'm telling you is in the second year. You know, when it's time for exams, when they're about to be the exam, they get the timetable and go this big board and look at those days. They'll just go to the main building. You see, okay, where am I? They say on this day you'll be doing exam, whatever. You have your timetable, and they give you like 2 weeks just to prepare. You're not going to the lectures anymore. All you do is study. So in our situation, by the way, I used to be in Mel Stewart, for those who know Makerere University, and the library is a little bit far. So to study, to go to the library, I had to go like really, really early, like to go walk. I don't know how long we had to walk, like maybe 15 minutes just to get to the library, carry your books and everything you need. So I did that like one time. I get there, it's all booked, like so many people finding somewhere to sit. I didn't like it. So, and then I tried another time. And when I went, this time, this student had this bad habit of leaving books where they were the whole day. So you come in the evening, although they are not there, their books are there. So you have nowhere to sit. So I watched the situation. I said, I don't like to waste time. I will waste like a whole hour just trying to find somewhere to study from. So I studied what happens in the hall, in the middle school, when everyone is gone. So I said, this place is quiet. So I said, me, I'm not going there anymore. I'll just stay here. When everyone leaves, I'll study in our room. So that's what I'll do. We'll study maybe from up to like, I don't remember what time we started, but we'll finish like maybe by 10, 11. So I'll be there studying. And this friend, she didn't live with us in my room. She would just pass by like a neighbor. She would knock on the door, and she would see that I'm there studying, but she would be coming back at around maybe 8. I said, how come you are back early? He said, I don't feel like studying. I'm not in the mood. I don't feel like studying. So she did that almost throughout. We were all preparing for exams. And I'm sorry that I'm telling this story. You may say, oh, why is she saying that? Because there is a lesson. There is a lesson, and this is public news. If you want go in the headlines of the New Vision at that time, you will find this story. So, the story about the university, what happened. We continue, we start doing exams, we're all busy. And after exams, everyone is packing, we go home. So that's a long vacation. Then we'll come back for our final year. We're all so excited. So, we arrived. I remember we were 2 roommates. I was with my other friend where we were. And we started hearing this story. Remember I told you it was in the news? It wasn't in the big news yet. It was still on campus. And they were saying that, do you know, the science people were failing. They didn't pass their exams. So this is what they did. They made them do retakes, and they made some repeat. They have to repeat second year, and then they expelled some of them. So as that story was going, because it wasn't common, I think they were starting to change their policies. This wasn't a common thing at that time. So we were there then a few days later, because there's a week you come and you're just arriving, there's no classes yet. So this friend, the one that used to pass and from prep, came. So when she came, she said, you know what? I came back, but since they didn't allocate me a hall, I don't have a hall. Remember, she used to be a male steward one like us. And she said, I don't even have a room. Do you know, they expelled me. And some, we had another one actually, also in the same, but for her, she said she was asked to repeat second year. and some had done it, depending on how they felt. She said, I don't have a hall, I don't have a room, so I have nowhere to go. But they expelled me, but they're appealing. There's an appeal. The students, I think we had like a student association or something, they were like appealing the situation. So we said, okay, you can stay with us here as you wait. So the following week, we started classes. Your classes, you go, you come, we go, we leave her in our room, we go, we come. And they kept checking. The case went long. That's why I said it was even in the news later. And finally, we came and she said, they said that decision was final. I think it went all the way to the registrar. It was final. They are not changing anything. I could not believe it. It was not me, but I could not believe what was happening. You spend all this time. It was a struggle to study and be able to, not like no one was there not smart. No, I'm not saying like I'm bragging we're smart. No one could go in that university at that time when they were not smart. Because like for me in my school, I think we were like 6 people and only 2 girls. Oh my God. I said, how does that happen? What do you do? So we asked her, do you tell your parents? Because in her family, I think she was the only first one who had just come to university. The first one to get to university. She said, no, I didn't tell them. Do you know, after everyone was making decisions, some people were deciding what to do, they were going, she stayed in our room, I think, for another week or 2 before she could go home. Because she was wondering how she was going to tell her parents. All the hopes used to be in those people who are able to have a degree. And in Uganda, like here in USA, when you have like a high school, they give you a diploma. You could even go get a job because of that diploma. But over there, it's just, they give you a pass slip. I don't think they changed it now. So until you go and study something else and get a real diploma or certificate or whatever, you can consider like you are not qualified to do anything. That's how she was. I said, from thinking you're getting a degree next year to going back to have nothing, I could not believe it, but that's what happened. In fact, that story, I even came to America before, I think, it changed. I think later. I think she applied and went back. You can go back to university as a mature entrant after 2 years. So she went back and switched the degree to a different one, and she got better, but after a struggle. The message is this: do your very best. Because this saying that she failed the exam, she didn't fail because she didn't know what to do. She didn't study. She kept going and coming back. And I'm sorry for judging, because I know many people are going to say, why would she talk like that? There is a lesson. If you have a child in school, especially like a teenager kind, those people like who are starting to be responsible for their own education, show them this video. You may have this opportunity and lose it in a moment. Because we had to study for just 2 weeks, to focus for 2 weeks and pass. But if you don't focus, you're going to get there. Those sciences are really hard. If they're asked, maybe you can say, oh, some things are just still in my brain, I can use them. But the sciences, those are facts. You have to study. That's my message today, and I apologize for judging, but that was public information. It's not like I'm telling a secret. If you went in the New Vision, I won't say the year, but people who went to school around my time, they know the story. It was a sad story. That's my video today. Do your very best in whatever you're doing. Whether you are doing a job, do your very best. That's how you're going to get the promotion. If you're in school, do your very best. Like us who are online, when we buy those courses, let's do the course, let's study, let's focus and learn and do our very best. That's how we're going to make our life better. Your very best. How do you know it's your very best? You know yourself. You know if you're wasting time or not. In fact, no one can tell you your very best except you. You know it. You know, this one, I've given it my all. I recorded a video recently when I said you have to give up some sleep. I don't think I said my some sleep some time ago. With this business, when you're starting something, you're going to give up some sleep. You're going to put in some money. You're going to put in time. So, give it your very best. Like I always end them. Take very good care of yourself. Take very good care of your family. Take very good care of your health. Remember to like and subscribe and share all those nice things. Leave a comment. What do you think? What did you learn from this, from that story that I just told? Take a step to a better you. Bye-bye.